In previous episode, we saw Dokja navigates through intense challenges as he encounters various characters, including the deadly Shin, a catastrophe. Dokja, aided by skills and abilities from previous rounds, faces the threat of the catastrophe of floods, which Yu is trying to awaken prematurely. Despite trying to warn you about the dangers, Yu's arrogance pushes him to disregard Dokja's advice. As Shin, with her monstrous army, begins her attack, Dokja is gravely injured while attempting to protect Yu. With his life hanging by a thread, Dokja dies but gains enough karma points to use his special abilities. As he becomes a third-person observer, he witnesses the horrifying destruction brought by Shin. Meanwhile, Yu, despite his fury, acknowledges his past companions, but remains focused on avenging his own. The scene ends with the imminent threat of the catastrophe unfolding and Dokja needing to find a way to intervene. Shin looks at Yu and wonders how he could, of all people, call someone his companion. But if he's being sincere, then maybe this round could be different. Some people are running towards Shin to kill her, and she cuts them in half in an instant. At the same time, Ji-hee comes from the woods and asks how dare she do that to Master. Shin starts smiling to see her. After some time, Ji-hee is kneeling on the ground as she is bleeding. Shin says that she almost forgot they were on a river and that naval warfare was her specialty. The river around the island and the ships are frozen. Shin tells Ji-hee that she still has to learn that a captain's place is on the ship. She asks Ji-hee, "What are you Dokkabi in a place like this?" A Tier 5 SE King Beast King, M. Wood, appears in the river and starts freezing the river. Everyone starts swimming backward after seeing it. Back at the island, Yi asks Shin how she knows her name. She doesn't even know her, and Shin says that she has no idea how Yu's going to take advantage of her and then abandon her as she grabs her face. Ji-hee swings her sword, but Shin quickly moves back. Ji-hee asks how she is so fast. Shin tells her that she wants Yu to accept her more than anything, but she died during a naval battle. She asks if she knows what Yu said about her. Then Yu said that their naval warfare would be more difficult from now on. Shin tells Ji-hee not to worry, because that won't happen in this round. She will make sure to give her a painless death. Shin jumps towards her and smashes her head on the ground. Meanwhile, she smashes the ice in the river and destroys it into pieces. Numerous people come out of the river and say that it was close. They nearly froze to death. Shin arrives there and tells them that she knows he will be here, their trustworthy shield, who has saved her life many times. She asks if they know him. The tier monster, Heavy Metal King, is also standing behind Shin. Shin calls him a loyal dog and tells him that he hasn't changed a bit. The monster attacks, and he defends using his shield. Shin says that after saving so many lives, he defended Yu until his last moment and turned to ashes from the breath of the Iron Blood Dragon. He makes a strong punch, attacks the monster, and throws it far away. He is sweating. Shin asks if he knows what Yu said when he died. He said that he had lost a handy shield. He is surprised to hear that. Shin thinks that all of them need to experience the same pain as her and the things she has seen. She tells him that he doesn't understand what she is saying and tells him that he's not a follower of Yu. Shin is shocked to hear that and tells her that he is Dokja's companion. Shin is speechless and thinks that something is not right. She rushes toward him, punches him in the stomach, causing him to spit out a lot of blood. She realizes that something is different about this round and wonders who Dokja is. Shin notices that everyone is attacking her and thinks that all these people should either be dead or following him by now. She questions whose orders they are following and asks where the ruler's throne is. As everyone closes in to kill her, she defends herself using a shield to block the arrows. The monsters start attacking the people to protect Shin. She notices the ground below her feet is frozen by ice breath, and she looks up to see Queen Merbad. Shin thinks that she knows it's on Earth, but wonders why it is attacking her. A voice comes from above, asking if she is the future. Her younger self is riding the queen, and she shouts at the catastrophe to bring Dokja back to life. The catastrophe Shin is shocked to see her younger self there. The catastrophe starts laughing, saying that she knew it. Other monsters begin attacking the queen, and Shin says, "This is more like it. Of course, you found Shin of this world." Shin falls from the queen, and the catastrophe claims she was trying to kill her, killing the young Shin. The catastrophe looks at the younger Shin and greets her with, "Hello," past her. Suddenly, Sa grabs her hand using her rope and tells Shin to run. The catastrophe looks at Sa and thinks that Olympus is here, and a Tier 6 monarch-level insect is attacking her from the sky. The insect master is riding on the mantis, ordering Titano to get her and asking what she did to Dokja. The catastrophe is surprised by this and wonders who Jim is. Titano is about to attack the catastrophe, but she uses her blast attack and kills it. The insect master falls to the ground and attacks the catastrophe using Antinous. The catastrophe is surprised, thinking that Antinous is the queen of the insects of Kronos that she has destroyed, and that this CD is controlling the queen as his minion. The catastrophe grabs Antinous by the throat and says she is impressed, telling the kid that he has some skill. She throws Antinous away and comments that he must have the potential of a lord. She grabs him by the throat, lifting him into the air and asks, "Who is Dokja?" She demands he tells her or prepare to die. Just then, cannon fire erupts, but she jumps into the air to avoid the attack. She thinks it's the cannon fire from the ghost of Steed. At the same time, Ji and arrive, and the catastrophe thinks she's done enough damage to kill them both, wondering why they are still alive. She says it's so annoying and starts squeezing the boys' throats, threatening to ask them about Dokja. She says, "Good to Gilyoung." Suddenly her hand starts acting strangely, and the veins begin twitching. Her hand lets go of the boy, and Gilyoung falls to the ground. She wonders if she's been infected by a parasite. She thinks it's impossible. Guides can't fight against catastrophes, and it's only a Tier 5 parasite. She says she can't control her body. A voice calls to her, and Dokja's spirit is seen standing behind her. She puts her hand to her ear, wondering where the voice is coming from, asking, "Who are you?" The catastrophe puts her hands on her ears and shouts to get out of her head. She starts crying and asks why it feels like she misses him. She screams again, demanding, "Get out of my head!" Dokja is trying to possess the catastrophe. Shin looks at the catastrophe and wonders if it's Dokja. The system notifies Dokja that level 3 of the Omniscient Reader Viewpoint is activated. Dokja thinks that he wasn't planning to do this from the beginning. The system notifies Dokja that the person supporting the actor's point of view has been activated. Dokja wonders if he is seeing things from Shin's perspective. He had no idea that he could actually possess a catastrophe. Dokja can now see Shin tied up and wonders if this is because of his conversation with her. He thinks that it might be for the best, as it could be better for him to see what Shin is up to rather than you, since he's tied up. Dokja can hear Shin's thoughts. She says she can't accept this, asking what about her suffering and the years she lived. She asks what she will get in return for this round. She says that she will kill them all, every last one of them. Dokja thinks that, in the flood of her thoughts, he looked at the world through Shin's eyes, breathed through her nose, and killed people with her hands. He was Yusin Shin. The system notifies that the fourth wall is shaking violently. Ji asks the catastrophe where she thinks she's going and rushes to attack her. Dokja thinks that if the catastrophe attacks her directly, then Ji-hee will die. He says he needs to stop them. The catastrophe was about to attack Ji-hee, when Kei thinks that if he can control her body, he can stop her from attacking. The catastrophe attacks Ji-hee and smashes her skull on the ground. The system notifies Dokja that he has interfered in the character's actions through the first-person supporting actor's point of view. Dokja thinks that he's done it, so he grabs his head and she starts screaming. The system notifies Dokja that the fourth wall is shaking violently. Dokja says that it feels like his entire body is burning up. But even if it was a tiny change, he was able to make her lose a bit of power in attacking Ji-hee, and Ji-hee managed to survive because of that. The catastrophe screams, asking who he is. The system notifies Dokja that he has a high understanding of the character Shin. She grabs her hand and tells Dokja to get the hell out of her head. Shin runs towards the catastrophe and asks if Dokja is in there. She is about to grab the catastrophe's hand when suddenly lightning starts coming out of their contact. The catastrophe starts seeing the memories and thinks that this memory is of a young Shin. Dokja is holding both of their hands and says that their memories are being linked because of him. There's a lot of lightning. Dokja thinks that, according to the disconnected film theory, the two of them should be able to coexist but not share their history. But the theory only applies to the characters. Dokja wonders what if the two films that weren't supposed to be linked had been linked because of him, an outsider who isn't a character in the novel. The catastrophe rips her arm off and tells Dokja to get the hell out of her head. Dokja yells at her to stop, saying that he is beginning to feel what Shin is feeling right now. The catastrophe starts crying, and Dokja wonders what he should do. He thinks that if he can hold on a little longer, the catastrophe can collapse on its own. Dokja says that he may be acting out of character. The system notifies Dokja that conflicting skills have been resolved. The effects of the immortal king have resumed, his body is revived from death, and body regeneration is commencing. Dokja thinks that it feels as if he is going to regret it if he doesn't do this. The system notifies Dokja that a constellation that likes to change genders is disappointed in his decision. Dokja is revived from the dead, and the system notifies that his personal skill, the fourth wall, has nullified the shock of dying. Now preparing the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Level 3 reward. Dokja thinks that this time he revived where there were no people around. The system notifies that the Immortal King attribute has taken effect and that he has spent 100 karma points. His bodily wastes have been excreted and his physique has been enhanced. Dokja is naked. He sees that his clothes and items are still there. The system notifies Dokja that his stamina and mana have each increased to level 2 and his stats have exceeded the limit set for the scenario. Dokja is wearing his clothes when you calls him from behind. He is looking at Dokja in disbelief. Dokja thinks that he forgot that you was right there. He tells you not to say that he is going to kill him again because if he dies again, he will die for good. You start screaming at Dokja. Dokja brings out his sword and says that he will explain later. He kills the monsters and tells you to come with him because they haven't got much time. Dokja and you arrive where the catastrophe is. Everyone starts running towards them. Dokja sees that the catastrophe is on her knees, having lost a lot of blood. Dokja starts walking towards her and tells him that she's dangerous. Dokja tells him that he will be fine. The catastrophe looks up and sees Dokja standing there. She asks, "Who the hell are you?" Dokja thinks that they might be able to defeat the catastrophe of floods if all of them were to attack her now. The catastrophe says that because of him, everything is ruined. This never happened in the round she knew of. Dokja says, "Welcome. I've been waiting for you for a long time." She asks, "Just who are you?" And Dokja replies, "Someone who wants to build the same world as her." Sanga puts her hand on Dokja's shoulder. Dokja turns around and tells everyone that he won't kill the catastrophe, and she's shocked to hear that. Dokja says that he won't allow any objections, so he asks them all to go along with his decision. Jihee asks what he is saying and tells her that Dokja must have something in mind and tells Dokja that he will support his decision. The insect master says that he is fine with it if that's what Dokja wants. Ji says fine and says Dokja always does what he wants anyway. Shin starts crying. Dokja pats her on the head. The catastrophe asks Dokja if he is not going to kill her. She says, "Don't make me laugh," and asks who he thinks she is. The catastrophe says that the world of the 41st round, which she's from, is no more in the entire universe in all the timelines. The people she knew don't exist anymore. During all those years, she has suffered. She asks Dokja how she could forget all of that. She looks at you and is suddenly silent. Dokja thinks that to lose the world one lives in, and to lose the people one loves and having to live again in that world despite that, the only person in the world who understands her pain is the regressor, you. You gets up and says, "All regressors live out their lives in contempt of things that haven't happened yet. One kills someone because they will end up being a villain and kills someone because they will end up killing his friend. And sometimes one saves someone because they will be an ally." You says he knows none of that has happened yet. He also knows that they don't remember him and that they haven't done anything wrong, but he takes action believing that they will. He believes that they won't stray from the life they were destined to live, because to him, these are the things that are definitely going to happen. And if he denies that, he can't go on living. The catastrophe starts shouting at you, saying that it is all because of how he lived with her friends. You interrupts her and says that she should live as he does. You tells her that if she wants, he will be the object of her contempt. He tells her to carry on living with the goal of killing him in this round. The catastrophe is shocked to hear that. You turns around and starts walking. She tells him to wait. Dokja comes near her, gives her his hand, and tells her that now, this is her new round. The Dokkaebi appears in the sky and says that he is sorry, but he can't allow that. Dokja looks at the sky and starts smiling. He thinks that he knew it was about time he showed up. That damn mid-grade Dokkaebi. Dokja tells the Dokkaebi that they didn't break any rules of the scenario. He tells Dokja that they've got it all wrong and asks how they can keep a catastrophe alive because that's against the rules. He adjusts his glasses and says that their goal for the scenario is to defeat the catastrophe, and if they do not stay true to the scenario, then... Dokja interrupts the Dokkaebi and tells him not to worry, they will kill the catastrophe. The Dokja is shocked to hear that. Ji-hee asked Dokja what he is saying because earlier he said that he wouldn't kill the catastrophe. Dokja says they'll kill her, but not right now. Dokja says that he clearly remembers that this scenario didn't have a time limit, so it is up to them to decide when they will kill the catastrophe. The Dokja is shocked to hear that. Dokja thinks that there aren't many instances where the characters go against the scenario in TWSA, especially when the line between good and evil is blurred like right now. The constellations of the purely good and pure evil alignments are bound to subscribe. They like to decide who is good and who is evil based on their wins. And this scenario is not a sub-scenario, but a main scenario. Even a mid-level Ubai won't be able to make changes to its conditions. Dokja tells the Ubai to quit pushing them. He thinks the constellations love it when something like this happens, and the system notifies that the constellation scribe of heaven is watching him with interest. The Ubai adjusts his glasses and says that he can't let that happen. Dokja asks him if he is going to meddle in the scenario again, and if he forgot what happened when he did that last time. Dokja thinks that he has been disciplined once already for Dokja just by being. Dokja asks, "What do you think you're doing, Dokja?" Dokja replies, "You should get ready," and tells Beong that he is counting on him if things go out of hand. Beong asks why him. Dokja replies that if he dies, then he will take Beong with him, so don't forget that. Beong is anxious as he is sweating. The Dokja is angry and says that it is interesting, but it won't go according to his plan. Not all incarnations in the Soul Dome would want the same thing as him. A screen appears and the system notifies that a new sub-scenario has arrived. It says Sub-Scenario, Catastrophe of Floods. The category is Sub, the difficulty is SS. Clear conditions are to defeat the catastrophe of floods using Shin. There is no time limit and no penalty for failure, and the reward is 2 times the reward of the main scenario. The Dokja says that starting now, the bounty on the catastrophe of floods will be doubled. Everyone is shocked to see their screens. Dokja thinks that he's going to get his way using a sub-scenario that he can create as he wants. Now the reward is 200,000 coins, which is twice the original amount. Dokja is sure that there will be people willing to risk their lives to get that reward. Dokja is alert for an incoming attack when a voice says, "Don't dare move if you value your lives, or you will die like a moth to a flame." Dokja looks in that direction and sees that there is the King of Beauty, Jianmin, and the Matria King, and the Neutral King, Eloan. Everyone freezes after that warning. The system notifies that Naval Warfare God is proud of the incarnations of the Korean Peninsula. The Dokja says, "How disappointing. He didn't know that the incarnations of the Soul Dome would be a bunch of cowards. Everyone is protecting the catastrophe, and she is shocked to see that." Dokja asks the Dokja why he hasn't given it up already. He asks if he thinks that they have done enough to satisfy them. The Dokja starts laughing and asks if Dokja has been thinking that far ahead already. Thanks for watching. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated. And hey, drop a comment if you have thoughts or new ideas or just want to say hi. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and stay awesome.